Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Punching Through, where we are chatting with women leaders who have blazed the trail and are an inspiration. I'm joined today for the special edition by my partner in crime, Tiffany Haynes, CEO of Fingercheck, who has been working alongside me in interviewing a series of women that have kind of an interesting stories and a lot of inspiration for everybody. Tiffany, welcome.
Thanks, Vanita.
And then
Good to be here.
And both of us are especially excited to be chatting with Alma, who is the mastermind behind Rise Up, a group of Rise Up that is, how would you describe Rise Up, Alma? Welcome, first of all.
Thank you, Vanita, for inviting me. Um, Rise Up is power and inspiration. That's how we
Awesome. Yes.
describe it.
So Rise Up is community within Money 2020 that brings together aspiring upcoming women leaders and pairs them with folks that have done it before, both men and women, and kind of really builds a community around them. Tiffany, you're an alumni, right? So maybe share your experience a little bit.
Yeah, I think I was 2021 or 22 group. Just a great, like, powerful group of women that were brought together. And, we still have connections today. We follow each other on our career path, challenge each other. And so it's just been a great, like, networking community experience for women in fintech predominantly.
Awesome. So Alma, you're a woman leader yourself. You've had experiences in event side, strategy, and now Rise Up. On the other side, you also get a view, a courtside seat to watching the changing dynamics of business. Not just in fintech, but across the globe, other industries as well. So talk me through a little bit about your journey, what got you into here, and what are some of the lessons that you've carried with yourself?
Wonderful. Thank you, Vanita. So, pretty much, I've started my career um, in technology, which is something that I fell in love with. And I was working at a company that they would provide us the right training, the right power to communicate the values of the product. And I realized that being a woman in sales, I was an account executive at the time, the target audience, the people who we would be speaking with, there were CIOs or chief digital officers, they were men. So I started realizing there that um, our perception that we do have towards a different gender, sometimes it was perceived, sorry. Um, so therefore I started to do a bit of research and knowing how could we be more impactful. So I realized that throughout my career that it's not about trying to be more powerful or more inspiring than men, but actually going together on the same direction, having the same thoughts or trying to adjust depending on the moment, depending on the circumstance. But throughout my career, I had to deal with a lot of men as target audience, as the person who was going to sign the deal for us, for my numbers. So I decided to play smart and just try to understand what would be good for them, that it could also be good for me as a woman. And that also gave me the freedom, basically, that when I joined Money 2020, I was super lucky that Tracy and Scarlett, they requested me to lead this program, Rise Up. um, the freedom of selecting the right people to be part of this program in order to have an impact into the audience. Um, Throughout the years that I've been part of Money 2020 as the leader of Rise Up, I find fascinating the how the program is changing people's lives. And I like that we don't only talk from a career perspective, we also talk from a personal perspective. And I think that
Definitely.
combination of having a bit of both professional and personal career advices, I think that has a good impact, a good balance.
And I think as you said here, right, one of the things is, everybody's been has their own unique strengths, unique journeys. So, being aware of what your power is, where your aspirations lie. The other thing that you talked about, which is common to a lot of women that we've spoken to, is that men have been a catalyst, support system, driver, mentors, driver behind a lot of the successes, mentors to a lot of the women, right? So you talked about it too. I think it's about understanding that a common business outcome triumphs everything, be it gender, be it other aspects of diversity, and finding that common ground to work with it, but also true about bringing your own full self to the table. So Tiffany, anything to add here from your perspective?
No, I think you said it. Like, I think at the end of the day, we all just want to do great work together, and just figuring out like what's everybody's lane in that. And once you get comfortable with that, like owning your lane and figuring out what you're really awesome at, and then just being strong in that and letting people know, hey, I'm awesome at XYZ. Right. And knowing it's okay that you're not great at the other things, and just like you said, like bringing your whole self and just owning that part of who you are and what you do really well. I think if we could all do that better and show up in that capacity as women on a consistent basis, like we'd bring a lot of change and a lot of goodness forward.
So Alma, next question, and that's absolutely true, Tiffany. Next question is and I want you to answer it from your perspective, but also from the women, that join, that you kind of, the qualities that you look at in the candidates for Rise Up. So what specific skills, experiences, or qualities do you believe have been most instrumental in enabling you to drive solutions and lead change within the industry, right? So what have been some of these things that you've looked at, and then when you go outside of yourself and look at the cohorts, what do you look for?
Yeah, I will respond first on the cohort because I think it's more important, based on the program, because it actually has changed my life. What we mainly look for them, that they're looking for a change, and when you look for a change, you're more open to listen. You're more receptive to receive specific different information from different sources. So the common denominator of all of these lucky recipients of the RISA program, Tiffany is one of them. Um, it's because those women have been open and just, as I said, being receptive to whatever comes. There's no right or left when it comes to how many years of experience, or if they have any specific product role. They were looking into it. It's a Rise Up is a very open program that we're super agnostic when it comes to years of experience. The only requirement we ask is to make people work in fintech. They have to be working in the fintech industry, of course. That is the only requirement we ask. And then based on their willingness to make things happen and make changes happen, this is how we are able to nurture some of their journeys and get make change and happen, basically.
Sure. I mean, and Tiffany, from your perspective, and Alma, your own perspective. So that's obviously you gave that. What are some of the qualities that have propelled you in your career? And Tiffany, I'd love
Uh,
you as well.
be authentic, be yourself, and basically just accept that we're not perfect. That's one of the things that I was able to. And then once you're good at something, back to what Tiffany was saying, you have to be extremely excellent at it. And also learning from beautiful minds like yourself across many topics.
But that's so true. And I was like, as you were saying this, I was thinking that as I have gotten older and more established and more comfortable, it's not it's not about sharing how much I know. I think I've become more comfortable with sharing what I don't know and talking about it. And just because I think there's this confidence that you get saying, listen, it'll be fine. And you're not going to think less of me if I told you that I can't do this, or I don't understand this, or I don't know the answer to this question. Tiffany, what about you?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think like older and wiser, right? Like we do become more comfortable in our own
Wiser,
skin. Yeah.
distract, but yes, I'm
Yeah.
teasing about Well,
Totally. You just got to be confident, and as you grow, you get more confident. And so I think it's just sharing that confidence out with others and gaining perspective, right? Like a lot of it's just learning how to see other people's perspectives and not, like you don't have to agree with it, right? But it's still valid and it's still meaningful. And the more that you can do that, particularly in a leadership position, and kind of like absorb that perspective and then use it to decision off of, I think that's just one of the, I don't know, great skills that we probably don't pay enough attention to, is like, how do you apply the knowledge of the people around you into making better decisions, like from an organizational perspective?
Alma, anything to add here? That's absolutely true.
Really, really amazing, Tiffany, about gaining perspective. I think is one of the things that we try to apply here at the program, and also having the ability to know how to negotiate, when to negotiate.
And be okay with the ask that you have, right? Sometimes, and that's what you and I were talking about, Alma, that a lot of times we start negotiating against ourselves because we don't want to let that discomfort fester. But sometimes that's important. So again, being comfortable with being uncomfortable is what it all comes down to. Thank you, both of you, for joining us. Great discussion as always. Really enjoy, talking to you, Alma and Tiffany. I've really enjoyed the last few weeks as we have talked to all these incredible women. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for this episode of Punching Through. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks.
Bye bye.
Bye.